Well, Arsenal didn't miss much today, particularly in that second half. Here's Mikel Arteta with Patrick.
Well, Mikel, 5 goals, 2 of them from teenagers. The team you hold up as the benchmark, soundly beaten. I mean, the days come much better than this.
Yeah, it's a great day for us, obviously, especially with the necessity that we had to win the game to sustain the pressure up there. And the manner that we've done it, obviously, really pleased. You need everything in these games. There are moments that we were very dominant, moments that we had to suffer and be deep, moments that we need a bit of luck, and we had it. But overall, obviously, a very happy day.
Was the way you pressed them, the way you squeezed them, certainly for the first 2 goals, absolutely key to your success today?
Yeah, there are moments in the game that you can have those ones, and sometimes you are very willing to press them, and they are that good that it's very difficult. And they hold you very deep, and on those moments you have to suffer, and as I said, sometimes be a bit lucky, but overall I think we scored some beautiful goals in different manners, and the team showed a really high competitive level.
You spoke before the match about micro games or micro decisions, little details that might decide it. What were those details that decided today?
It's a really thin line, you go on high press and you win it, great. You hold the ball after winning it, great. If not, you defend your box, and it's a team that demands you everything because they are so good. And we'll have those margins. Today they went our way.
So the few seconds it was 1-1, quite anxious at that point?
Yes, obviously, because obviously that gives them momentum, and we had on that period as well, we were deep for 4, 5, 6 minutes in a row. We didn't defend the ball in the box that well, and then they have this quality. Obviously, when you allow Haaland in the duel 1-against-1 with the biggest space in the box, he's capable of doing that.
I mentioned your teenagers, particularly Miles Lewis-Skelly today. How do you feel for him, especially after what he went through last weekend?
Yeah, you need big individual performances against this team to beat them in the manner that we've done, and Miles was certainly one of them. The maturity that he showed, the competitiveness as well. On top of that, he scores a goal, probably is not in the books. Great, and Ethan comes in again and he plays with that personality again, and he's got a beautiful goal.
With Miles, just tell us a bit about his journey. I've heard you talk about it a little bit in your press conference. You saw him and he was a midfielder. How have you got him ready for this team, and how has he got himself ready for this team?
It's him. He's been pushing us since he's been with us. We really like the character, the personality. He's got so much courage. He's very well prepared. He's very intelligent, and he's got qualities that fit in the way we want to play. And then he earned the right to get respected by the teammates. Then he got some minutes, he got them, and he's asking for more. And even the competition is high, he deserves to play.
What did you make of the spirit today's game was played in? There was maybe a few moments where it looked like it might spill over, but I guess you'd expect a bit of that between 2 big rivals at the top of the Premier League. And I think you've just walked towards your interview, you and Pep together, so all seems well.
You have to. I mean, you're going to suffer in periods of the game, you know that. And we did it when we had to do it, again, with a bit of luck in the right moments. And then we have the opportunity to win the game and be ruthless. Today we were.
OK, so it's been a Sunday to celebrate for Arsenal fans. Might it be a Monday to celebrate for Arsenal fans as well with what you do in the transfer market? How likely is something, Mikel?
I don't know. I've just been focused the last 24 hours on what we had to do to try to beat Man City. Now we've done it. Okay, we will discuss the situation as we always do, and then Newcastle, that's the important thing.
But, I mean, you've talked about, I know guys like me have asked you again and again, how necessary is it that you get something in? But then I guess you don't want to leave yourself in a situation in the summer where you've eaten into your budget and PSR constraints and stuff like that.
No, it's about the intentions, and the intention, I think we've been very clear from every angle what we want to do, and the other one is the reality and what you are able to do.
So it's possible?
It's always possible.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
But Mikel, are you going to sign a striker?
Titi, tell us! Come on, you've got the inside.
All I know is it's nice to see him smile. He's trying to not have that smile, but obviously when he's been asked about Lewis-Skelly, he couldn't hold it. It's nice to see that, and the trust that they have in him, as he mentioned, because you have to give him also a lot of credit to start him in a game like that.
Ahead of Calafiori.
But trusting him also to roll inside and be on the ball, because it's not an easy one. You lose it, it's a quick transition.
We were just having a little chat off air, Jamie. Just how big was this for Arsenal today? Put that in context for us.
I think that was when you think of the Arteta reign, everything's been going forward. You know, each season getting closer to Manchester City. And if Arsenal don't win the league this season, it'll feel probably like the first time in his era where it'll almost feel like you've taken a step back in some ways. Not because they don't win the league, but because it's Liverpool and not City. And I think if Arsenal draw that game today, I think we're all saying the league's done. You know, if Liverpool's got the game in hand, and that's what I think Arsenal are playing on week in, week out. They need to bring this gap back, not let it to go sort of 2 points further on. Now, there's a lot riding on this game in hand. We've been talking about it from a Liverpool point of view for a long time. It's going to be out the way next week, and we'll see if Liverpool extend the lead or they are where they are. But I just think today, with the situation with Liverpool winning a game that they thought they might draw, to win that in the manner that they want, and also to beat Pep. Let's not forget this. I know the mates and all, but this ego thing between top managers. They want to beat each other. They want to beat each other. For him to beat... Listen, Arsenal have beaten... I think you said Mikel Arteta's gone 3 or 4 games unbeaten against Man City.
Yeah, 3.
But they've won 1 in 18 in the Premier League against Man City. That was massive for the football club to have this psychological, barrier. We can beat them and beat them well. And it's a big thing for Mikel Arteta to beat Pep Guardiola, the best manager in the world. So it's been an unbelievable day for Arsenal, and hopefully it doesn't get any better tomorrow.
Apparently, Mikel said that the benchmark was obviously Man City when he's been asked that first question. In terms of consistency of winning leagues and leagues and leagues, yes. But this year the benchmark is Liverpool by a distance.
So you still think Liverpool are going to win the league, is what you're saying?
Listen, I think if Liverpool beat Everton next week, I don't see
think it's
how...
done?
Well, I don't see how Arsenal come back with 9 points.
Come on,
I'm not certain, don't worry about that.
Don't say it's done.
No, I don't think Arsenal will be able to catch them.
So it's done.
But I think if Liverpool didn't win that game and it was 6 or 7 points, that's still enough if you're Arsenal to keep you
well,
hungry.
if Liverpool get past Everton, we're all going to be saying, are City going to be able to take points off Liverpool and so on and so on. Can Arsenal stay in the race all the way until May when they actually got to play Liverpool as well? But this is, you guys know, you've been winners yourselves. At this stage of the season, you just can't drop points anywhere, can you? And even the game on Wednesday night, which Mikel has referred to, how do you handle that? You're 2 down against Newcastle. Do you want to be...
You'd rather be chasing.
Throwing your emotion into the Carabao Cup.
I would rather be chasing. When we won the league, we went ahead against Man United, against the great Fergie sides and all that sort of stuff. When we got ahead, we was nervous. As soon as we took that pressure away and was behind, 6 points behind, we were just playing freely. Arsenal at this moment, of course there's going to be pressure. A big statement today, but everyone's expecting Liverpool to win the league, so I think it's less pressure for Arsenal. You know, if Liverpool win, they go 9 points ahead.
I totally disagree. I totally disagree with that.
But what, in terms of what, though?
Well, number one, I think you'd rather be in front. But in terms of the pressure situation, I understand what you're saying. You know, the team in front, everyone expects Liverpool to win. But I think we're at a stage with Arsenal under Mikel Arteta. We were talking now, aren't we? Where they have to win big. They have to, and I do feel if they don't win the league this year, it'll almost feel like a step back. The years before that have been, they're getting closer. This was their year to do it. So I feel like Arsenal are going almost into every game they play with huge pressure.
Thierry, in 10 seconds, can they win the title? Will they win the title, Arsenal?
It's impossible in 10 seconds. Why?
Just give me a yes or a no.
But this guy is 9 points ahead, virtually. He doesn't even say it, and you want me to say it? Come on. 10 seconds gone.
Just so my God.
Not bad. I tell you what. Yeah.
You shouldn't have invited me.
We're going to have to get you back. We'll have to get you back. There is.
Stones has just told us that your dressing room is an angry and emotional place. How would you sum up the mood in there?
Has to be. You know, when you lose again the football game in that way, especially the last 25 minutes. So it's not easy to start the game with 1-0 down so immediately like Chelsea, but the team reacted really, really well again. So it makes 60-65 minutes until I would say 3-1, 2-1, 3-1, and after that we lost what we should do. So you can lose the games, but what you have to do it all the time.
So what happens in that moment? Because probably at 1-1, you're in control and favourites to go on and win the match.
Yeah, but it happened this season. So 1-1, you have an action on field to play Omar and make a transition 2 against 1 with Savio, and we lose the ball and have to shoot deflection. Many things happen this season in that terms, but you have to okay, another goal you concede, another goal you concede, another goal you concede, but you have to do what you have to do. You have to be, if we decide to talk, we have to do this defensively, offensively, you have to do it, you have to stick off the game. So we will not solve the situation against that team that they set back and after transition and create faults and set pieces. And in the first half, we control the game, but we should do it because you have another specific players. And this was the problem in the last 20 minutes. If you tell me what happened, what is the game? So I don't have defense to defend my players or myself first, of course. For the last 20, 25 minutes, the rest of the game was well played. Yeah. This is my feeling.
So in that last 20, 25 minutes, the players just forget the game plan or lose the game plan, something like that?
No, they want it. They are pride. They want it. They want it, solve it, and they want it. Right? I'm not saying the opposite. So they want it, but it's not the way. You have to do it together against a team that play good. The Raya is good, and of course the players in the first half, Arsenal, they were a little bit more scared, and after 3-1, of course they're easier. They're confident. In that moment, you have to do what you have to do the game.
I've heard you say earlier during the difficult run that when your team comes under pressure, even if you're really in control of the game, when the heat comes on and the pressure comes on, you're just not able to resist it. And that was the case again today. Why do you think that is?
No, every game is different. Every game is different. So the game it's football. So you have to in certain positions, lose the ball is a risk. But the alternative is put long balls. So what happened every time we put long balls?
They lost it.
They lost it. They came back stronger. So, of course, you have to combine both things. You have to, because long balls against Saliba and Gabriel is not easy, not even for Erling, for any striker. And you have to play, but knowing that in certain positions it's risk. But the game was well played. But, of course, when you, after that, the last 20 minutes, that everyone will solve it and tired and affected emotionally. But it's what we have to learn. So, football sometimes there are bad moments and you have to resist and study and the good moments will come back.
There was a patch in that game you talked about losing the long balls. I think Erling Haaland went about 37 minutes without touching the ball. I know he then scores in the second half, but is that what's going wrong there? Is that him? Is that the process in the build-up? Maybe not even Edison for the long balls? What's happening there?
Well, we have the two central defenders in front of him, two holding midfielders in front of him, so tight, so narrow. So sometimes it's not easy to find him. Had to be processed, patient, to find him.
But you never used to give the ball away in the build-up like that. I think about the team with David Silva in it. It would be a problem. You giving the ball away twice for goal 1 and goal 2. It's a mistake that City never used to make. Why do you think you find that process in the build-up harder at the moment?
Maybe because the opponents, maybe they are more aggressive, they are better, and sometimes happen not just in that situation, in many games. So during the season we give away many games and many points because we concede behind, and that is the truth.
Yeah. Last question, do you think it's just the case, Pep, that I said the same to John Stones, you're a team in transition, it's the end of one great era and hopefully for you the start of a new one, you're just in that transition moment right now?
We will see. It's obviously our players are getting old, like the manager is getting old, so it's normal. But still, we are in February. We have a lot of games still to play, and of course the senior players have been and are so important. And of course the new players will help us for the new time.
Thank you.
Very well.
Guardiola to answer. He's just not been used to it, has he? Because his team have dominated English football pretty much since he got here. But right now, the title seems a long way off. They can get a maximum of 83 points. Leicester City were the last team to win the league with a total as low as that. Leicester actually got 81 in that season in 15-16. But actually, Micah, is there a scrap on here for City to be playing in the Champions League next season?
Yeah, there is a scrap. From the evidence that we see in the season, I think their focus this season just now. Top 4, take one game at a time, and I know they've got some difficult fixtures coming up as well. I think leading up to this game, they'll actually be doing all right in the league. It's more the Champions League where they've been struggling. So I always fancy City to score a goal. I just worry about them defensively. I really do. I know we talked about defensively. Teres Nunes playing right back. I don't like it. He's a midfielder. He's not getting tight to anyone. He's not stopping crosses. And I feel for him because he's playing out of position. But just losing Rodri, I've never seen a team buckle so much losing one player. And I know he was immense, Ballon d'Or winner, but the team have to do more. They have to recognise. And there's no harm in losing. You can lose 2-1, 3-1, whatever it may be to a good team. But when it's 5s and it's 4s and it's 3s consistently against higher quality teams, that's when you need to start worrying.
Man City have conceded more goals than Man United this season. I mean, that's
And that's a damning stat with how bad Man United are.
Talking about those tough games that are coming up, not least a tricky one in the FA Cup as well. Away to Leyton Orient is next up, and then these Champions League ties that you're talking about against Real Madrid. He did actually they have named Rodri in their Champions League squad, perhaps with an eye of going deeper in the competition, maybe, but that's a challenge when you've got Real Madrid. I suppose, Thierry, Arsenal fans are going to be wondering if City can take points off Liverpool on February the 23rd.
Can they? Yeah, they can. I can see that happening. But for me, it's overall what they can do for themselves. Like if you talk about Arsenal, I think they can take some points. You never know what type of City we're going to have against Liverpool on that day. But to go back to that point, I mean, it's annoying for people to go with it's the end of an era. It's not the end of an era. Like they won 4 in a row. You can lose one. It's the manner of how they lose one. It's never easy to see a team at the end stopping winning, because when you stop winning, it doesn't always look right the way
So you don't think it's the end of an era?
No, I don't think it's the end of an
So
era.
do you
It's
think
them losing the title in a poor way.
Do you think this group is capable of rebuilding themselves, regrouping and doing it next season?
People are talking about Rodri. I don't think that Rodri is the only thing that's the problem at Man City. I mentioned it earlier. This man that we saw before, Pep Guardiola, made us forget the legends, not only of City, but also of the Premier League, that were not there. You never watched City before and said to yourself, they're missing Yaya Touré, they're missing Aguero, they're missing David Silva, they're missing Marcel Kompany. Never, ever. You said, oh, they got unlucky today. This time, lesser players of the one I mentioned, you said they miss Alvarez, they miss Mahrez. And we all know he won Premier League, the Premier League Player of the Year. But I'm saying that it's more of a situation where, for the first time, and I mentioned it before, I think he got some of the players in that didn't have the talent of the players that left. And it is the first time that it did happen at the same time that Rodri also is not delivering. You know, so, he's not, he's injured, my bad. But it's not the end of an era. Like, it's a bit too quick to have us, I didn't say it, but people saying that it's the end of the era just because,
collapse, isn't it?
No, that they imploded, yeah, that they have to recover from it, yeah, players that they got in, yes, that Rodri is going to come back, yes, but it's not the end of an era. I don't, not yet for me, in terms of what Pep is trying to do.
Pep, obviously a very difficult game to try and digest everything that happened, particularly in the second half to you.
No, the game, only I regret the last 20 to 25 minutes that we forgot to do what we should do, what we have done during 60, 65, 70 minutes. So, of course, it's a difficult game starting this stadium against that team in the first minutes, and happened many times this season. But after 10, 15 minutes, I think we took the game and played really good, and we are in the season like after 1-1 and good momentum with a pass to make the transition with Omar and deflection and the third goal. But after that, we then continue to do what you have to do in terms defensively, and a little bit more patient, because when we play in that way, they can run, and of course with 3-1 they are more comfortable, it's more difficult. So I regret the last 50, 20 minutes. The rest was a really good game for our side. It's difficult to understand when you see the result, but this is my feeling.
Obviously, the first goal of the game coming so early in the game from a defensive error, similar to last weekend against Chelsea in a way. It's not a great start when you're in this environment against such a good team.
It's happened all season. We are giving away too many things. Still, we are not aware. We talk, but we are not aware with this. We cannot happen. It happened, but we react really well, and we play in personality. We defend so good, and when the ball we were quite threat, but unfortunately after the second, it happened again many times. We had momentum for deflection, and in other situations we concede the goals.
Obviously, it's a big deflection on the second goal, and coming so soon after Erling had equalised, it's a bit of luck for them, and it's a key moment in the game.
Definitely. but you have to overcome. But you cannot lose the control. It's 95 minutes, so we cannot finish in the way we play. We could have scored 3 more. So the team always has to be stable. It doesn't matter what happens in knockout games. So in the first situation, we lose what you have to do. It's so difficult.
He's very honest there, Joe. That they've forgotten, weren't doing what would he expect them to do in the last 25 minutes.
Yeah, I honestly felt that. He seems humbled this season in the fact that he knows they're going to lose games with how they're playing, and he's okay with that. He's always been okay with mistakes. You know, that's the high intensity that they play, and when it's not to the perfection and quite to the level, playing in the Premier League at the likes of the Emirates against a good Arsenal team, they can get hurt. But I felt that. I'm the same as him. Last 25 minutes, they just look a bit lost souls. What do we do here? Do we have to go and push for a goal, or do we defend deep? They just looked a bit lost, and that'll be really disappointing. That will hurt him a lot.
I think you can tell, because it's complete new territory for him, especially with this Manchester City team.
Exactly that, yeah. We're seeing something that we never thought we'd see. They're still a great team. They've still got great players. They're still searching for, to get back where they were. It wasn't the worst performance in the world. I mean, at half-time, I came in and I was so, excited by what I'd seen. 2 really good teams going at it. Arsenal first blood. Then they missed a chance to go 2-0. Then Man City hit the crossbar. They had a couple of chances themselves. And at half-time, I thought, what a game this could be. Could go either way still. They started getting a little bit of control in that second half, in that second part of the first half. But then Arsenal came out, and it was, it was phenomenal, really. After Man City scored, Arsenal just went into overdrive. So he'll be disappointed with that. Of course he will. But all is not lost in many ways. There's still so many positives that he can take out of it. But, Arsenal steamrolled them today, and he will be disappointed. Conceding 5 goals for only the second time, as you say, in his career is not something he'll want. But there we go, dust himself down and get back at it.
And that's all he can do, isn't it? And he said that himself, to challenge himself.
Yeah, he's in like that territory. He's not really too familiar being in, losing as many games. What's that? 11 games they've lost this season, 7 in the Premier League. And I think that even when you look at the last 25 minutes, you look at the way the team is, and they're not used to losing like that. There's almost like people are looking around to see, well, what we meant to do here, what's going on, because it looks so disjointed when they started to lose, and you're thinking, surely Manchester City are not going to just capitulate like this. And then they went a 3 and a 4 and a 5, and then you can look and you almost feel like the team's looking around to say, what do we do? This isn't meant to be happening to us. So what do we do from here? And again, because you can't blame it all on Rodri, but obviously this has started when Rodri came out of the team. He's a massive miss. He's a massive miss in there. And you have to mention him now, because the breaks, what people are breaking on City, that does not happen with him. I think the biggest problem that they've had, they haven't recruited well for the last couple of seasons, I personally believe. And that's why, the Zubimendi thing went really we got to try and get him. It was a rushed thing. And I think that's the problem that Man City have had. They've not recruited well up to this point, and then people have got to that stage where they're getting a bit older and they're moving on. The young players are coming in, trying to settle, and he's trying to change a whole new maybe era of a team, and that's what they're going through at the moment. And you could see that in the way they lost today, because they didn't know where it came from. They were just like, what's going on here?
Well, the standards they've hit and the success they've had, for a lot of these players, they just haven't, as I was saying to Phil Foden, he just since he came into the team, he just hasn't had this experience in football.
Yeah, they haven't, but come on, they're not aliens, they're not from a different planet. They've seen there's great examples, there's so much learning to do, there's so many conversations. These aren't just turning up on a Saturday and thinking, if we sprinkle our wand over us, we'll start playing like Manchester City again. It's going to be hard work, that position. Obviously, Rodri is a huge miss, but he was out. He did, he's done his knee. He's out for a long, long time. You have to recover. You have to recoup. In the board, you have to have these discussions. Pep Guardiola has to have these discussions. Who can play there? Who can be as disciplined as Rodri? Who can help them in that way? So look, it's a difficult moment, but that'll be worrying. Like I say, last 20 minutes, those last 3 goals, in the way that the mentality shifted. There's some hard conversations to be had. It's big moments. The manager as well. He's going to be looking at himself, and I'm not saying they're not, because they're top professionals and they want the best out of it. But You can't have this long where you're looking for answers. There's answers out there. You know, you can change this.
He's going to have to change it, because when you look at the fixtures that are coming up, they're not the easiest on paper for Manchester City. And obviously, they have those two huge Champions League playoffs against Real Madrid, home and away as well. They've got the cup tie, they've got Newcastle at home, they've got Liverpool at home, Spurs away, and Nottingham Forest. We all know how well they're doing. I mean, when you look at the next 6 weeks for Manchester City, they're season defining.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? And sometimes you can think, well, at least we're in the Champions League, and that's sort of, you know, let's salvage something out of the Premier League, let's scrape fourth, and then we might be able to still salvage the season by winning the Champions League or by winning a big cup. Real Madrid. And the way they're playing at the moment, it's not like it's been over the last few years. And I know Real Madrid have beaten them, 2 of the last 3 years or whatever, and that's where Man City were playing brilliant. Man City are half the team they were now. I think they'll be really fearing that fixture now. And if they went out in the playoff stage of the Champions League and they're scrambling around in the Premier League, it'd be a disastrous season. There's still time to salvage it. There is still time. But as Joe says, it's not going to be a magic wand. This is going to be piece by piece, getting the odd player back, having a transfer window maybe. This is a team that's slightly broken that needs a bit of fixing.
Yeah, they really do, and they need to address it. They need the big players to stand up. What was noticeable in the first half when playing out from the back wasn't quite working was the conversation between Pep Guardiola and John Stones. John Stones seemed like the person that he wanted to communicate with out on that field today to try and get him through the moments. And second half, when he was down the other end, they couldn't quite get to him, and I didn't see the communication. You need your leaders to stand up in these moments. You know, Kevin De Bruyne being off the field and probably not being first pick at the moment might have to readdress that, because when he's on, he really takes the game by the scruff of the neck. You need your big players standing up, your Kovacic's, your Gundogan's. You need these guys. Bernardo Silva's disappeared a little bit at the moment. You need them taking it by the scruff of the neck and letting everyone know it's all right. Stay with us.
Kyle Walker's come out of the squad as well, one of the big leaders.
It's massive, you know, and Nunez playing at right back, doing a great job for the team. But it's difficult. Like I say, you need people that you can look to, and you can, you know, even with the goalkeeping position. It's always great to have a number one behind you that you know is going to be playing and you know is focused and can kind of marshal his troops. Ortega, Ederson swapping a lot, a few little injuries. All the big places, all the big spine of the team, apart from Erling Haaland, who we talked about as dangerous as he is to score goals, but he's not going to take the game by the scruff of the neck in that position.
Okay, that's for City to come. We'll finish. I know they're still 6 points behind. They've played a game, but when you produce a performance and the atmosphere we've seen here today, Arsenal have to enjoy every moment of this tonight. Well, that's what football's all about.
Well, you do. They can't be, and I think you heard it. You heard it from the captain there, Martin. He's saying they've just got to. You've got to take the next game and try and win that, because what Liverpool will be looking at is, can they continue doing that against teams? Because if they do, then we're going to have to continue doing it. And that's all you can have to do. Keep Liverpool having to win. Keep them under pressure. So if they do drop it, you're ready to catch it. And that's what I'm hoping, that this performance is what Arsenal are going to be doing now.
Yeah, just a little nudge to Merseyside tonight. Doesn't do any harm in the title race.
Yeah, Liverpool won't have enjoyed that today. They're in total control at the moment, but as Wrighty says, they're there, ready to pounce if they slip up.
We've certainly enjoyed that today. Michael, Joe and Wrighty, as always, thank you very much indeed. Hope you enjoyed it wherever you were with us, live from the Emirates on Match Day Live, and a statement day from Arsenal Football Club. See you soon.